I want to tell you guys how I perceive and embark an intimate relationship, which ultimately was again one of those practices that I went into consciously when I was not in a relationship. And it has turned into a very, very central focus in my life that is not influenced by anything anymore. And that is that I decided a few years ago that my primary relationship was with God. And I also decided to fall in love when I was alone. And I made that decision in 2018, so it wasn't that long ago, but that was something that I was really, it was a very important practice for me to every day wake up and act as though I was in the first week of a new relationship and I was in love and I was just sensual and super turned on and it felt super delicious and juicy. And then to always prioritize God. My primary relationship, the thing I'm communicating with before I do anything else, is with God. And that's the way that's my language for it. But what that means is that my morning practice is not something I compromise on anymore. Because if I'm going to be in a primary relationship with God as it expresses itself in me, I also am in a primary relationship with God as it expresses itself in a partner. And what that does, it dissolves the hook of relationship, because you're not supportive of your partner, and you can't be, but you can be supportive as it pertains to your partner's path with God. There's nothing that you can do to save your partner or really influence them in a clean way. They're on their path and you're on your path. And the healthiest relationships are connected into the third source, God, the third dimension of the relationship, and not to one another. Which means that there are no conclusions, but she's on her journey, and there are no conclusions and you're on yours. And if you do the communicative, adult, emotionally intelligent work of learning how to be with one another where two people are in their primary relationships with God, you might be able to sync up every once in a while when you're in a growth spurt that happens to cross one another. But it's very rare in relationship that both partners are growing at the exact same trajectory at the exact same time. And what happens a lot, because that's not the reality that we live in, is that we hook into one another to try and pull the other one up before they're ready. And then there's this tug of war tension in the relationship. You're responsible for me feeling this way, and I'm responsible for you feeling that way. And then you down prioritize your primary relationship. And then of course you need one another because you've forgotten God. But when you have God, you get to have a completely different relationship dynamic with an actual intimate partner. This may be hard to believe, but I think that you guys have all had taste of this, and so I'm going to say it. It's so much deeper. Deeper than anything that you have ever seen before. And I think you guys have all had tastes of that depth. Otherwise, I don't think that you would be here, honestly. And it is the most rewarding thing on the face of the planet to have a relationship that's locked in that way. It's not that your relationship is wrong if it's not. It's just that this is a new vantage point to look at the relationship from. And then in that sense, when we're talking about receptivity, you can receive your full partner for exactly who she is. And she can receive you for exactly who you are. You know, receptivity is a surrendered posture, but that's what love is. To really, really love someone, you have to set them free and be in your connection with Source as it expresses itself for you. And the way that I chose to do that practice was to get married to God, for lack of a better term to talk about it, and to fall in love. Irrespective of who is in my field, I am always committed to being in love. I am always committed to God.